Good morning, everyone, on this great and wonderful Monday morning or Monday afternoon, depending on how you look at it and where you live. I thought I would just give you an update on what I'm going to be working on, and it's not involving quilting, it's crafting, but I thought I would do something that is a little more difficult now due to my eyesight going, but I really never have done things from kits, even though I've never really purchased kits per se. I might purchase a kit because I like a picture that's in a kit, but I never do what is actually in the kit. And I've spent the last 2 months looking for a specific item that I knew I had, and I was just like, seriously, there's no way I could have threw it away. And that is, for years I've done embroidery, cross stitch, all kinds of stuff, and I have pretty much every color of the rainbow on thread that you can imagine. But I couldn't find what I had done with it. And I thought, well, that's impossible because there's no way I would have thrown all that thread away. So, 2 months looking for it. And then last night, I happened to be rewatching one of the live videos, and I happened to look up, and on top of that dresser, now it's not coffee, I don't drink coffee, in that box is some t-shirt yarn. And I was doing a t-shirt and doing it, and that's just where I put it. But if you look in the other videos, this box was up there. And I thought, no way. Sure enough, all my embroidery floss was in that box. And I'm like, oh, good grief. Because I have all my embroidery floss is kept in colors. Because it's been in here so long, I have no idea why it was put. Each one of these bags contains, like, if it's a pink or a blue, but this tells you how old this box is. There's even ones I purchased that I've never opened. I have no clue how old these are, but what I can tell you is they're 100% cotton, and every one of them says made in the USA. So they're old, but the thread is all good. But what I used to do, and this was a time when I was doing lots of hand sewing, if you could see what's in this box, is these little envelopes. And this is, I don't even know what this is. I think this is I do too. This is a netting that I made to hold these. These little envelopes, these envelopes are old. These envelopes all contain embroidery thread with a number, because I never threw any little, what is it? Oh, yeah, there is. I never threw my embroidery floss away, no matter how big or how small. And it has a number on it. The problem is, I guess when I didn't think when I did this, I wrote a number and not what the color was. So, because that's what I like here, I decided, because this thread, this embroidery floss, most of it doesn't have numbers. That's how old it is. Now they all come with numbers. Like this one, there's no numbers on it. I know who makes it, but there's not. This is made by Designs. Somebody called Designs. Instead of the normal one, this is something made by Designs, and this is made in the USA, but there's no numbers on it. So it's like, well, all I can do is put it in an envelope and mark red on the envelope. That's when I could actually see. But what I've decided to do, which could be interesting, is I actually have kits But the kits, of course, are so old. Um, we're talking, some of this thread is probably over 40 years old. And but I checked it all already to make sure, it's perfectly perfect thread. But it is organized, kind of, but not really. I'm going to make some thread carriers from cardboard. But what I'm going to be doing, and I happened to find, and it was a strange thing that I found inside that box. And if you would have watched, I think it was Jess's live earlier today, I found a picture. This is a picture I found. And I'm going to make that. I was originally going to do those as quilt blocks with regular, and I'm like going, yes, I could make the blocks. That's no big deal. But I decided that I'm going to embroidery them, or cross stitch. It's actually more of cross stitch. And what's really funny is it actually still has the I don't know, a pattern or whatever. But my issue is this. I mean, this pattern's cool. I don't know what new patterns will look like, but with this pattern, these lines that you see on here, these where it shows the line, that represents 10 little squares, I guess, because I have the stuff that you I don't know what this is. I know it is I don't know, it's a weird stuff, and I wanted to see what it would do on an iron, and yes, it is stiff, and I put an iron on it. I was like, well, I guess if you melt, you melt. No, I didn't touch the iron to it. I used a cloth on top, and I'm like, well, it's not getting warm, and then I touched the iron just to see, and it didn't do anything. But it's real tough stuff. But all them little holes you see in there, yeah, I started doing it. Yeah, see, I do have my embroidery hoops are a little bit different than most people. These ones they snap together, and then you gotta tighten it. But it's the top. Most of the ones you get now, the one piece fits in here, and you put the other one. This one, it snaps together underneath, and this piece goes over the top of it. But what I decided to do, I'm going to do some embroidery. I don't know how successful I'm going to be because of the fact of, like I said, I started and embroidery's not, this is a cross stitch, but I'm doing mine more of the embroidery type thing as opposed to cross stitch. There is a difference, and it's a slight difference, but this is actually supposed to be a cross stitch, and I'm not going to do it as a cross stitch. But I don't know why I got this. I don't know where. I just know I've had it for a number of years. But what I thought was cool about this is if you think about our little quilting community we have here, what it says on it, if you can read it, I don't know if you guys can read it, it says, families are like quilts, stitched together a piece at a time. And if you think about the great group of people that we have coming together, and if you think about it, we're located all over the globe, but we all come together, whether you sew, whether you woodwork, whether you, I don't know, work on vehicles, we all share something in common. And when I first started doing it and getting my channel going, I was amazed at how many share a common goal. And some people just like watching other people design stuff. The interaction we do with each other, it's such positive aspects. So, but that's what I've been working on. Mostly because I can't figure out what quilt back I want to do, or what quilt. I'm like, because there's so many. There's just so many options. Jess is doing her World War or Civil War quilts. Oh, those are so amazing. I'm doing like 3 of the block a month mystery things, but I need to figure out what I want to do that's not part of a project already. And that's the reason it's like, well, I don't want to make a block just because. I don't want to just sew material together just because. And I started sewing a bunch of my scraps together. And I got halfway through and I went, no, this is not what I'm going to do with them. No, I haven't taken them apart. They're still together. But it's not what I want to do. There's an inspiration, I guess, that needs to come, as most of you know, because there's some beautiful blocks out there. Like, kind of the people are doing the Tula Pink stuff, and it's beautiful fabric. Nobody could ever say it's not. It's just not my thing. I prefer doing projects where I choose my own fabrics, and sometimes I will do a block the way it's supposed to be done, and other times I'll do it kind of my own way. Not all the time, but sometimes. Right now I'm designing a block. It's probably been done before. I just try to find a block that, even though it's been done, I can put my own little piece of something on it. But these blocks are a little different because that's why the embroidery, I needed to make sure I could still do embroidery, and that's why I'm embroidering instead of cross stitching. Because these blocks that I'm going to be doing have a different purpose, and they will be made into a quilt, except for the center of each block will be an embroidered poem, because I have written poems for years. Some of them are published and some of them are not. But I'm going to make a block and put the poems on them, so it's kind of, right now they're memorialized on paper. Well, of course on my computer as well, which would be digital. And then the ones that were published, of course, are in poetry books out there. Like with the International Poetry Society, they published a few of my poems. But I thought that would be a really good way of memorializing something I enjoy, creativity of the poetry that I do combined with quilting. I think the two together will be wonderful. That it would just be wonderful, because the poems that I have are part of a scrapbook, because I do scrapbooking as well. And so I'm going to take the idea that's on the scrapbook page I created and put that into a quilt. And each one will be different, but it's just a matter of figuring out how I want to do it. I've thought about doing the using a t-shirt as a background because it is soft, but then I thought, no, I don't want that type of thing, because a t-shirt you got to applicate too much. I just haven't convinced myself I want to do a t-shirt. It's just not. Most I would do with the t-shirt is applicate stuff all over it and then wear it. I've done things. I've put designs on t-shirts. I've made it to where you take the front of the t-shirt and you cut like a hole in it, and then you either applique or sew. Well, you don't really cut it out, but you cut the t-shirt like on the bottom and the two sides, so you lift that piece up, and then you cut strips, and each strip you put 4 or 5 pony beads on. But underneath it, you cut the hole big enough, and then you either, like I said, you either applique or sew in from the back side and the front side. You sew in something. It could be a piece of fabric, it could be anything you want to do, or a piece out of another t-shirt. And then when those fabric comes down with those pony beads, it kind of hides it, but it creates just something new on the t-shirt. And that may be what I make. I just don't have any more pony beads right now. I probably got rid of those years ago, because when my eyesight started going, I started decreasing the amount of crafts I had, because I sat on it and couldn't figure out who to give the stuff to. So I just got rid of it. I donated it to like thrift stores. I donated a lot of it to schools. Like it mostly went to like the preschools, the little kids, because I would make little bags, like little craft bags, and they would be, I don't know, filled with string and whatever, enough for, I'd pick a specific classroom. No, my kids weren't in class. I just pick somebody I knew, and that little class needed something to do, and so I'd go in there and teach them how to make something. And it would never be anything really great. I taught kids how to string pony beads and made little bracelets, and how to tie the little pony beads on, and parents would call me and go, I just spent $100 in pony beads. What are you doing to my kid? It's like, I didn't tell you to do that. They just thought it was great. Then their whole family had to wear these little beaded things around their waist, wrists, and they were making little things for their dogs, and I'm like, they like doing it, and it's cool to see that something so minor you can show the little ones, and they can take it, because their minds just go way out of that box, and it's amazing to see the little ones. They're so cute. Then they have to grow up. No, just kidding, guys. Just kidding. But teaching someone, whether they're a little kid or adult, to be able to take the knowledge you have of something and be able to share it with the world, and that person is able to understand and do something with it, whether they do an identical what you're doing, or take something and create something else. And that's why I like watching. I don't always do like the sew along things, but I like watching them, because it's like, oh, look at that. Look how you have 5 or 6 people. Or a good example is when Mona, Deb, who else was involved in that? Lisa. Oh, I can't think of who else was involved. Those are the 3 I could think of, the main one. I know there was doing those Millie's dresses. Everybody did the Millie's dresses, but each one of those quilts were unique. Like, I can't remember. One of them put like little aprons on the dresses, or lace collars. It was a sew along, and again, each person put, some of them did exactly as the pattern says, but they all remember that one word. They all put their own uniqueness to it, and it made everything wonderful. I mean, I just, I wasn't really, I liked watching them do it as they progress, but it wasn't something I wanted to do. So for me to attempt to doing it, I would have never finished because I knew it wasn't my type of quilt. Like, I don't know, some of them they're beautiful quilts. Don't get me wrong. They're the work they did. Oh my gosh, it's just I don't know that type of thing. I don't know. I don't know. I used to do it all the time, and then I got out of doing applique stuff, and I still have a ton of applique stuff here. And what I should really do with the applique I have here is so old that it was at a time when you appliqued something, it was a thing you did not wash. You hand washed that item. These are extremely old appliques, and they're ones that are like super shiny, and you applique on there, but it's something that more on the lines of artwork that you're gonna hang up or put behind glass, or I got them when I used to make a lot of porcelain dolls. Yeah, I used to make porcelain dolls and do the casting for them, and make the bodies and the dresses. And I got the appliques because I would cut the appliques apart and like put make a little bow for their hair, or it became part of their dresses. Or so yeah, I've been sewing a long time. I just got out of it mostly because I'm like, okay, I'm doing this for what purpose? You know, for myself. It just no longer was fun. It just, okay, I can make this for myself, and then what do I do with it? It sits in the closet and nobody sees it. My daughters they're not crafting. They want nothing to do with crafts. Their attitudes are more of, I can buy it at the store. I'm like, okay. So maybe someday that will change, or their children's it will change. Who knows? But that's what I'm doing for now, and I hope everybody has a wonderful day. And I do want to say, for all the creators that had their lives this weekend, you guys are great. You know, every single one, we have a good time, and that's what it's all about. And we get to see all the wonderful things, the new stuff people are doing, and it's pretty amazing. So I just wanted to say hi and thank you, everybody, and hit the like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the chat, everybody. Bye bye.